Hi, this is Lindy Kirby, and I wanted to share with you a little bit about what happened today. I went to sit down at my piano, my digital piano, and as soon as I hit the button that usually turns my piano on, nothing happened. It won't turn on, and I'm kind of sad that it doesn't work. At the same time, I can't think anything except how blessed I am and what a miracle it is that it has worked for so long. Is it okay if I share with you this story? When I first started doing music, I was starting to feel that my mission really had to do with music, and so I was excited to start sharing it, and I wanted to make a CD that had my inspirational piano songs on it. And some of you know that I have a CD called Little Miracles. And so I wanted to make this CD, and I thought, oh, what better way than making it on this digital piano. Now, this digital piano was really a blessing and a gift. We were still newly married and we didn't have a lot of money, but my grandparents passed away, and as a inheritance for each of the grandkids, we were each given $2,000. And so it was right at this point in time when I received that money, and I thought, oh, I can use that money to buy this digital piano. And I was so excited that I could maybe record the CD on this piano, and it would save me a lot of money and still be able to share the songs. And so I got it all ready. I'd attended a lot of LDS musician festivals and conferences, and so I'd kind of gotten in with some of the producers and people that I'd gotten to know, and so I sent an email to one of the producers saying that I was looking to make this CD and I was hoping that he could help me, and I was just really excited about the opportunity of making a CD. Well, at the same time, I had been told in a blessing that I needed to seek approval for the things that I wanted to accomplish. And so, trying to do what Heavenly Father wanted me to do, I was trying to pray and get the answer that it was okay that if I were to make this CD. And so I kept praying and praying, waiting for that answer and for that approval. And it just wasn't coming. I kept waiting, and I was kind of just getting nothing. I'd pray, is it a yes? Nothing. Is it a no? Nothing. And I just wasn't feeling like I was getting any kind of direction, yes or no, in the direction of making this CD. And so that was a little bit frustrating. But I knew a lot of people that got answers when they went to the temple. And so I thought, I'm going to go to the temple and I am going to get an answer. Dang it. And I went to the temple, and again, I prayed. And again, I didn't seem to be getting any kind of answer whatsoever. And, it was just frustrating, and I'd had it kind of with the Lord, that He wasn't giving me any direction. And this seemed like a good thing that I was trying to do, use my talents and to be able to create this CD. And so I told Heavenly Father at the temple, I said, I'm just going to go ahead and move forward with this CD. And if it isn't the right thing, then just have things not work out. And then I felt comfortable to go ahead and just start working on the CD that I really felt inspired to do. And so I was starting to get working on my CD, and I had my piano all set up to my keyboard or my computer system that I work on to be able to make the sheet music and everything else that I'd learned how to do. And I will never forget the day that I was going to start recording, because I came up to the piano and then I went to play, and all of a sudden it just turned off. My piano just shut down and it stopped working, kind of like it is right now. It just didn't work. And I, turned on the little gauge a couple times, and just nothing. There wasn't a blink, there wasn't a sound, there wasn't a light. And I didn't know what that meant, and I was just, why is this happening? I just barely gotten the piano. It had only been, a few months, but we'd bought it from somebody that was giving it away, so I didn't know how to give it back. And so we took it into the store, a repair shop, to see if they could get it fixed. And it wasn't too long after that I heard from the producer that I'd sent my email to, kind of a mean reply, but basically telling me that I needed to read this book on how to submit music to a professional and how to get it recorded, and that I had done it very unprofessionally. And, it was just kind of humiliating, because I'd actually gone to school, I'd read the book that he talked about, I had just approached it differently because I thought we were on a little bit closer terms, and anyway, I just felt completely humiliated. And then I heard back from the piano repair shop, and they told me that it was going to cost over $1,000 because it needed a new soundboard. And it wasn't until that moment when everything started to just collapse around me, and I just thought, nothing is going right. And then I had that memory that I had prayed that if it wasn't right, that everything wouldn't work out. And I remember that night, I got down on my knees and I said, Heavenly Father, it feels like maybe this is the wrong thing to do, or that this isn't the right thing to do. And immediately I felt that warm spirit that assured me that that was the answer, that I was not supposed to make the CD right then. And I was grateful. I was grateful to get an answer, to at least know that that was the answer and that I wasn't supposed to make the CD. At the same time, I really loved this piano. I wanted it to work. I wanted to be able to make sheet music, and I wanted to do all the other things that I had bought the piano for. And I didn't have an extra $1,000 to go spend on a new soundboard for the piano. And I was really worried about it, and I didn't know what to do. And I remember I got down on my knees again and I said, Heavenly Father, I get the lesson now. I know now that I always need to pray if it's the right thing to do, to let this happen, or if it's the wrong thing to do, let this happen. And for me, that has been how I get answers to prayer. Helps me to be able to stay on track with what the Lord wants for me. And I always pray, if it's thy will, that those things will happen. And anyway, I prayed and I said, Heavenly Father, I get the lesson that I learned from this experience, but is there any way I can have my piano back? The next day, the piano shop called back, and we hadn't made a decision as to what we were going to do. I think we decided to go ahead and get the soundboard, even though it was going to cost so much, and we didn't know how we were going to afford it. But the repair shop said, we fixed your piano, and it didn't need a new soundboard. It's ready to be picked up. And I said, really? Like, what happened? What was wrong with it? And he said, he was a little bit reluctant to tell me. I had to kind of push a little bit to have him tell me what happened. But he said, you know how when you fix your TV when it's not working, I use the brute force method. And I said, the brute force method? And he said, yeah, kind of hit it. You hit my piano? He said, yeah, but it just started working, and he didn't have a reason for it. He didn't understand why it had worked, but he said he checked it all out and it was all working. It was all working, and he wasn't going to charge me for anything except for the diagnosis of the piano. And I was just like, wow, what a miracle. I learned the lesson, and then I got my piano back. It was like the hugest miracle ever. But that wasn't all. My piano has worked since that time, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. Was 15 years ago that I made, that I had that situation happen. And just now my piano died, and I just have to be grateful for how long it has worked for me. It's been my friend, and I'm grateful for it, and we'll figure out a new way to get a new one. But I'm so grateful. A few years later, I was at a little different point in my life, and my husband was able to make some extra money, and he said I should use it to make my CD, and it was just such a blessing. It seemed like everything just started working. I was able to make, I'll show you, this is my CD Little Miracles that I made in the studio, and we made it in a really nice recording studio, and it was recorded on a C7 grand piano. It's a really nice CD with wonderful songs that all have inspirational messages, and I even let John Schmidt from the piano, why can't I remember? The Piano Guys, sorry. John Schmidt listened to the CD, and he called it wonderful. And what higher praise could I have gotten? And I don't know if I would have had that same praise had I made this CD on my piano. As nice as it is, for whatever reason, Heavenly Father wanted me to record this CD in a studio with professional sounding instrumentation and everything else. And I look back on that experience and even how frustrated I was, but how much I learned from that lesson. I learned how to get answers to prayer. I learned that God had a better plan for me than I did for myself. And as much as I'm so grateful, or kind of sad, sorry that my piano isn't working, I just have so much gratitude for the chance that I've had to learn all those lessons and to create music, and how much of a friend this piano's been for me. And anyway, thank you for letting me share that story. Little miracles have happened throughout my whole life. I even named my company name Little Miracles, and it's because as we start recognizing God's hand in our life, we start seeing them. When things happen that go wrong, we can always look back and say, what did I learn from that? And there's always something to be learned from every experience that we go through. And I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope maybe that message is helpful to you. In case anybody is interested in this Little Miracles CD, it's just $10 for Christmas. And if you're interested, you can comment in the comments and I can send you a link for it. It's just $10. But that isn't why I wanted to share this message with you. It just happened that my piano broke, and anyway, it just reminded me of all the little miracles that have happened. And I hope you enjoyed this story, and I will talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.